Hi everyone. Here to share with you my November uh, creative design team project for Country Craft Creations using the Authentique Bountiful. I was sent the collection and I'm telling you it's just absolutely gorgeous. So here's my first project that I did with it, and I created a mini album. Um, a 6.5 by 6.5 mini album using the Bountiful from Authentique's collection. So you can see this is a little bit more simpler design cover than I normally do, but I just felt that with doing the front of it, I didn't need all the extras on the spine or on the back. So you can start it off with this gorgeous, I love this pattern, autumn leaf print here. So I use that for my cover. I added a little bit of lace from my stash, and then I was sent some 49 Market flower collection, and so I used the majority of that on this album, and then saved a couple of pieces for my next project. I did add a couple more little flowers from my stash that I found that kind of blended in well and helped make it more of a fall image. And then I took some Scrabble blocks that I had and spelled out the word fall. So there's my cover. Again, 6.5 by 6.5. Now, the pages are very interactive pages that you will see. I'll show you. This is a tutorial that I found a couple years back from Scrapbook Maven, and I have changed it a little bit to suit my needs and to kind of make it my own. So this is a 6 by 6 pocket page with interactive flips and flaps. Flaps that is made from one sheet. Each page is made from one sheet of a 12 by 12 piece of cardstock. So this is the first design that I did, and then I'm going to make my next one. When I show you, I'm going to show you how to do two different pages here, two different looks using the exact same cutting method and just folding it, but flipping the page a little bit different to give you a totally different look. In my album, I kept the front cover and the back cover plain. Plain for you, for me, because I didn't want to cover up this paper. I just love this pattern, and I thought that it would look beautiful with just one picture here and a picture in the back. So it's a little bit not as bulky as some of my other albums that I made. So each page, as you can see, is made from one sheet, like I said, of a 12 by 12, and it's giving you a pocket, and then it's giving you some pages that flip and fold out. All right, so I'll show you how we did that. So my first one is the pocket page, and each page has a photo mat in it, and all my photo mats are the same in this book. I kept them all the same paper. This pocket, I added another pocket to it to hold my cut aparts, and then I also added a flap below to give it just a different look here. So uh, this is kind of neat because I've left these open where you can add photos here, and then you can add a photo here, and then of course you can add your 3 by 4 photos on the back of the calling cards, and then each mat will hold a photo on both sides, or journaling on the back side. I did only cover one side of the photo mat, the tag, and the tags measure 5 and 1/8 by 5 and 1/4. So, and that just goes right back in there. sure it does. I'll put it back in here in a minute. So then you flip it over, and like I said, you have a flap that folds over that's going to give you room for a 4 by 6. A 4 by 6 on this one. I did use, and let me grab these real quick, one of these, so I can show you. Again, like I said, I left that open so you can stick a photo in there. And then, again, one 4 by 6. This is a 3 by 4 calling card, so you can see a 4 by 6 will definitely fit. I made a belly band here so you could add a couple of photos in there using photo mats or whatever. And this one is a little bit too big for it. And then you can also put a photo there. So that folds back over, and then this flips up. So, which gives you another full page, and I did another belly band up here, and then also added one of the stickers on backing on cardstock, and added it as an embellishment here to hold another photo. Again, left this page empty, so that way it will hold one nice big photo there. Okay, the next page, and you see all these pages are made the same. They're all structured the same with one sheet of 12 by 12 cardstock. So again, it's our pocket page with our photo mat. And then I made another pocket on top of that to hold a couple of the calling cards or cutouts. And then I also used another sticker and backed it onto cardstock and made it so it would hold another photo. This will also hold a photo down here, or you can use one of the journaling cards and do your journaling on that. You flip that back over, and then you've got your first flap. This one I added to the original flap. So I added, here's the original one, and I added this flap over it. And then you have a place here for a photo, photos here that will go in there. This flips over, and it gives you your photos here and here. And then it lifts up, and you've got your photo areas here and then here as well. Our next page again is your pocket page, and I just made one big pocket to hold some photo mats. And again, this one I actually made like a little frame here, so you can slip a photo in there. And this flips over like this. And I just added another one here that you will hold photos. Again, area here for photos. Again, flips up, gives you a full page here for photos. And if you cut down, let me get another one of these. So if you cut down to 3 by 4, you could overlap them, or you could cut them down and have them both like that. Another belly band, so you can do a couple of photos in there. And our pocket page again I added a fold down and places for photos there, photos here, and then of course you can also do photoing, or you can just do journaling on that as well. And then you're going to flip that one over, and I added ribbon on this, and I thought it made it kind of cute that you could add a couple of photos in there. So make your own photo mats and put your photos in there. Again, this flips out or open, and I left that one just, I glued all that down, and you add a photo there. I left this plain. Love this acorn paper, and I guess it would help if I put it right, so you can put a photo there. That flips up, and then again you've got room for more photos up here. And then I made belly bands down here so you can add a couple more photos down there. And again, the back is plain, and it would be awesome to put two little 3 by 4 pictures and then some journaling here, leaving your pattern of your paper here that I just love. So, okay, so that's the album. Very quick and easy and simple. And I'm going to show you how to make the pages. I'm going to show you how to make them this with the pocket in the front, and then I'll also show you how to create it with a twist to it. So let's go ahead and start. So you want 12 by 12 sheet of paper, your scoreboard first, and you're going to need your cutter. So on your 12 by 12 piece of paper, just put it in on your scoreboard. Now, here's where I've changed mine. She called for a 1/4 of score. I do a 1/2 inch. So a 1/2 inch there. So you're going to score it at a 1/2 inch. Then you're going to come over and score it at 6. And you're going to score it at 6 again. So a 1/2 inch, 6, rotate it 90 degrees, and score it at 6. Okay, so you've got four squares. All right, so let's go ahead and I'm going to fold my What you want to do here on your 1/2 inch score, you want to come in and make a notch on each side of it, right there at the score line. And then I'm going to remove this piece right here, this bottom piece. And I'm going to cut it just right above the score line. And I'm just going to use scissors because it's not going to really matter if it's actually straight. I just want it because I'm going to be hiding that. Okay. All right. Then something on this paper. Probably need to get rid of this, but I'll just do it this way. So then you want to get your cutter. And what we're going to do is you're going to cut it right here, right along this one. So you got your tab up here, and you're going to cut it right here. So I'm going to put this in my scoreboard. I'm just going to line it up. So I'm coming up, and I'm only going to cut, let me line this up. I'm only going to cut from here to the middle score line. Okay. Nope, I just did that wrong, guys. Ha ha ha. Alright, hold on a minute. Yep, I did do it wrong. Let's start all over. See what happens when you make mistakes when I'm doing this. So let's start all over. I won't throw that away because I will use that. I'll use that for my extra flaps that I want to add to that. Okay, so we're going to score it 1/2 inch. We're going to, score it at 1/2 inch. We're going to score it at 6 inches. We're going to rotate it 90 degrees and score it again at 6. Fold it over. score line. Fold it over again on this one. Come in and notch it out right there, just like we did before. And you're going to cut the bottom half of it off. And again, like I said, I'm just cutting slightly above the line. Okay. Then you're going to flip it this way, and we're going to cut it here. So, you want to flip it over this way, and you're going to cut it from this one to the middle. Right on the score line. Let's see if I can line this up perfectly so I can do it. Alright. So we're going to fold this one. There you go. You got it cut like that. Your tab's down here. Fold your tab over. You're going to fold this over. Okay. And that's going to be your pocket right here. So you're going to, I'm going to go ahead and draw a line here just so you can see it. So you're going to, I'm just going to cut this out for my pocket, okay? And then you're going to fold this down and this over. So here's exactly how okay. All right, let's try this one more time. I'm going to be wasting lots of paper here, but we're going to I'm going to show you how to do this. Can't be that difficult. All right, score it half. You're going to score it 6 1/4, and then you're going to turn it and score it 6. So, half an inch, 6 1/4, and then rotate it, and you're going to score 6. All right. You're going to come in and do your notches just like I told you before. Move this out of my way. It's not as difficult as I'm making it, and I apologize here, all right? Okay. There's your notch. Okay. Now you're going to score, okay, and you're going to cut this one. So you're going to rotate it 90 degrees and then cut this one. Right, let's see if I can do this right without messing it up here for you. Right, one more time. Okay, there we go. Alright, so this one you're going to fold over, and this is going to be your pocket. And this I'm folding up and over on my score line here, my 1/2 inch score line. Fold that up. And then that's going to be my pocket. And I'm going to glue this on the outside so that way when I put my tag in here, it's not going to get caught on this. It's going to go actually all the way in. So here's your pocket, and you're going to fold that over and you're going to glue that, and I'll go ahead and do that real quick here. Okay, so there's my pocket. I'm going to fold this down, and I'm going to fold this over. Okay? Okay, this is how I made mine. So, this is your pocket, and I'm going to put a little thing here. So, in my book here, this is your first page. So, there's your pocket, and then you're going to, and that's going to be where you hook it to your hinge. That's where you're going to fill it in your hinge. And then when you turn it over, you're going to have a flap, and then it's going to also flip up. Okay, now, if you turn this, so if you flip it over, you can rotate it. So, again, here's your pocket here. If instead of cutting this here for your pocket, you turn this over and you put your pocket here. And this is how I'm going to do my next album. Then I'm going to have this comes down and this flaps open. And then instead of having this here, you can also put one here. So you'll have one up, one down, and then over. So you can add to it. Okay, I'll do it one more time with you. And I'm just going to show you how to make this one, but I'm going to, when I make my next album, I'm actually going to be doing it this way. So that's why I wanted to show you. Okay, let's get another sheet of paper. Let's get our scoreboard. Move this out of the way. My pen back in my ink on glue. Okay, so I'm going to score it 1/2 inch, 6 1/4, rotate it 90 degrees and at 6 inches. Okay, let's do it again. 1/2 inch, 6 1/4, rotate it 6. Okay, I'm going to come in on, I'm going to go ahead and fold these over. So when you fold it over, you're going to see that it's not going to be even because you've got that 1/2 inch right here. And then you want to fold this up, and this one will be even. Okay. Go ahead and make your notches here off at the and on the bottom half you want to cut it off and just go slightly above your score mark. Okay. Get your cutter back in. And you want to rotate it. What you're doing is you're going to cut the line. So here's your tab. Here's the one where you cut it off, and you're going to cut right there on the score line from here to the middle. Oh, why my blade keeps falling out, but it's doing that today. Let's see if I can line this up. Okay. Fold that one over. Add your glue. And I'm going to Only because I'm just picky like this, I want to go ahead and miter that corner there. I didn't on the other one, and I thought about it afterwards. I'm gonna, before I do the next one, I am gonna get rid of this because I put in that one. So there's your pocket. Fold it down. Alright, so there's your pocket right here. Fold that over, and then fold that over. And there's your page. So your pocket's going to be up here. This is going to be your front page. Turn it over, and it's going to flip open and then up. And on this one here, you can cut a decorative edge on this one. Now, for me, I'm just going to flip it over, have my pocket on the back. This is going to be my area here on the pinch. So this is going to fold down and then fold open. So that's the one I'm going to be doing on my next one. Okay, make another one. So we got two made. Make our third one. Before I do that, let me go ahead. I'm going to get rid of this so that way I don't ruin my poster board. I messed up my other pages. I better get some more cardstock. Okay, get your score pad. I'm going to score it at 1/2 inch, 6 1/4. Rotate it 90 degrees. Score it at 6. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and do my other two because I'm going to make 5 pages for this next album I'm making. So 1/2 inch, 6 1/4. Rotate it 90 degrees, and that's 6. Okay. I'm going to do one more. So 1/2 inch, 6 1/4. Rotate it 90 degrees, and score it at 6. All right. Get that out of our way. And we're going to come over here on the 1/2 inch score line, and right in the middle, I'm going to notch it on each side. Take my scissors. I could do that with the cutter too, but it's just, I find it's easier just for me to do it with my scissors. Pull that one up and over. Miter my corner on this one a little bit. Now you don't have to miter it. It's your own preference, but I prefer mine to be miter. I'm going to bring this over, and we're going to score it. It's easier. You're going to score it on this bottom one, but it's easier for me to turn it this way and score this way. So whatever easier for you, but I think that's where I get messed up is because Alright. Well, I lost my blade again. What is with this today? You just score to the middle. Okay. Oh my gosh, I just threw that out behind my desk. Sorry, I'll get another one. Okay, and this is going to come down this way. And we're going to fold this one over. I'm going to fold this one over. And there you go. There's your pocket where you're going to add it to the hinge there. Flip it over and you're going to have your flip over and then your flip up. Okay, let's do the last two. I'm going to go ahead and fold these. All right, come back over here and I'll do your notch. Reminder here while I'm on it. I'm going to cut the bottom off. And again, I'm just cutting it right above the score line. Bring this over. Okay, and I'm going to line this up here. Get a new blade since I don't want to go stop and dig that one out from behind my desk. Just come there to the 6. Okay, put it away. So I'm going to fold this over here. Fold that over for my pocket. Fold that over like that. And fold this over. Okay. There's 4 pages. So I'm going to do the last one. Because like I said, I'm doing 5 in my this album that I'm making. I did 4 in the one that I showed you. This back into our cutter. Okay. It over. Pull that one down. And fold this one over. And then that's going to go fold it over here. Now, this is, by putting this on the inside, or on the outside I mean, when you go to add your tag, it's going to fit right in there. It's not going to get hooked up where it might get hooked up on this when it's folded in. So, okay. So, now that you got your tags, so now, like I said, you can cut a border of decorative border here. You can do whatever you want on this one. Around your edge, your corners, whatever. You can add another flap in here. You can add a flap up here or over here. If you want to add more to this page, you can do it. On the pocket, I'm going to show you here, so I'm going to put this here. On the pocket, you can add a flap to have your fold down like I did. Right here. Like that. And then I just use magnets to hold it shut. And then again, there you go. And you can decorate it any way you want. So I did do, on mine I did do the fold downs. I did add pockets to it. This one I just added a larger pocket. I didn't add any fold outs on these, but you could. You can add another one on this side if you want to come this way, and this way, and then open it up. See, there's all kinds of things you can do with this interactive page using one sheet of cardstock, a 12 by 12 sheet of cardstock, and then those ones that I made a mistake on, I'll be using those for my other more flaps and that. Okay, so let's go ahead and do the hinge for this. So my pages are 6 by 6, or 5 3/4 is what they are. This is going to be my hinge here, so it's going to be 5 3/4. Now I'm going to flip mine the other way. Mine is going to 5 3/4, so I'm going to make this my hinge. I'm going to make mine 5 5/8. Okay, so I have plenty of room. Go ahead and pull that out. Got that at 5 5/8 by 12. And score it at 1 1/2. And then I use a 1/2 inch. And then I use 1 2 3. So I'm making 3/8. And then all the way across. 3. Okay, so there's my first hinge. Skip 1, 2 hinges, skip 1, 3 hinges, skip 1, 4 hinges, skip 1, and then my 5th hinge, and then I'm going to go a 1/2 inch. Okay. So the way I do mine is my 1/2 inch is what I do right here on the spine. That's my 1/2 inch. So I put it on, so I do 2, skip 2, and put the tape on the 3rd one. Skip 2, put the tape on the 3rd one. Skip 2, put the tape on the 3rd one. skip 2, put the tape on the third one, skip 2, and put tape on the third one, and then I should have the 1/2 inch here, okay, and I'll show you how I do this. So let's go ahead and I've got 5 pieces of tape, so I'm going to have 5 hinges. So, and then I'm going to fold this one right over. Fold it over. Okay, and then that's my half. Fold at the half, and this is going to fold at the half. Now I'm going to have to cut that, all right, because it's going to be too long. So there's my, fold these up. And there's my 5 hinges. Okay, so what I do is I just come in, I cut this, I line it up with my 1/2 inch fold. Definitely is not what I wanted to do. I wanted to go it this way. So I'm going to line it up at my 2.5 inch mark and then cut it off. My tape. Cut off my excess there. And I'm going to do the same thing with this one, this side. Just a little bit, a little bit. Trim the excess off. I fold that right over. I did not get that even on there, so what I'm going to do is, that was not what I wanted to do. That's all right. Try to get it on there straight. Don't like I do what I did and just fold it over crooked. So, all right. And there's my hinge for my. Okay. So that brings us to, you want to make your cover, and this hinge comes up to be about 1.5 or 2.5. I'm sorry. So if I put it on there, it's going to come right to the 2.5. So my spine is going to be a 2.5 inch spine. So you want to go ahead and cut your chipboard for your cover 6.5 by 6.5 with a 2.5 inch spine. So my cover, our chipboard is going to be 6.5 by 6.5 with a 2.5 inch spine, which is going to give me an album that looks just like this. Okay, with 5 pages in it. Okay, and again, I'm going to flip mine so my pages, my flaps are going to be in the front and then in the back on this one, and I'm going to have 5 pages. And I don't have, I guess I could go ahead, I'm not sure if I have the right chipboard. I had to order some, so let me check real quick and see if I have chipboard that I can cut my cover with you. I do not have craft chipboard that should be coming in on Monday. So what I will do is I will go ahead and come back and finish the video with the cover. But in the meantime, I'm going to work on my pages, and we have our hinge ready. We have our 5 pages ready. So I'm going to go ahead and get my pages done. And then Monday, when I get the chipboard comes in, I will come back on and finish up the cover with you, and then we can add the pages to it. So thanks for watching, and I will be back on Monday. Okay, it's Monday and my supplies have arrived from Country Craft Creations, and now we can continue on with the album cover for our interactive page album that you made using Authentique's Bountiful collection. So I went ahead and I pre-cut my paper. So these are 2 pieces of 12 by 12s, and I cut them down to 8.5 by 12 because our chipboard is going to be cut at 6.5 by 6.5. So you're going to need 2 pieces of chipboard, again 6.5 by 6.5 each, and then your spine, which is 2.5 by 6.5. And the way I came up with my spine is, if you remember when I made my hinge, I take whatever my hinge is, and that is the width that I make my spine. So my hinge was 2.5 width, and my hinge is going to be 2.5 width with a by 6.5 for the length of the album. So now my supplies came, but guess what I did? I ordered my score tape, but I did not order my score tape sheets. What was I thinking? Because I am totally out of them, and I love the score tape sheets so much. So I went ahead and put the score tape all over my chipboard already to save some time on this video. I'm spoiled, let me tell you, with the score tape sheets, because This is a pain, having to put 1, 2, and I'll constantly put your tape on there after being using the sheets. So let's go ahead, and I'm going to go ahead and start. So I did cheat a little bit, like I said, as I did put in the score tape on all my chipboard. So again, 2 6.5 by 6.5, and 1 2.5 by 6.5 pieces of chipboard, 2 pieces of cardstock, and this is the artesian craft that I'm using. And you're going to cut it 8.5 by 12. And then just as a guide for me, I don't know if you can see this or not, I score mine on each side at 1 inch. So I cut it at 8.5. I score it 1 inch here, 1 inch there. So my chipboard's going to fit perfectly in my guidelines there. So let's go ahead and add these 2 pieces together. And I'm using the 1/4 inch score tape on this. Oh, brand new rolling. It doesn't want to come apart. All right. So I'm just going to add up just right there along the edge on each side. Whoops, excuse me. On each side, I hit the camera. It's a little wobbly, and I know that's hard on the eyes when we start shaking the camera around. So I'm just going to add 1 strip on each side of the paper here. Scissors helps me. Oh, let's pull that up. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and just line these up. And I did go over on the edge on these, and so I'm just going to come over and make sure that they both are. No, that wasn't too smart, Jackie. Okay. Right. So I'm just going to line them up like that. I overlap them a little bit. I'm not I just like the look of the overlap to make sure that I have got a secure hold on it. So there we go. Now, this is my score line here, and it's got the mountain side, which is the edge where you can fill it. So I leave that up because I like to fold that in. So let's get our chipboard now. And I start with my hinge, as that is my middle piece. Now, when I do my chipboard with the score tape, I'm really messy with it. I'm going to tell you that now. I don't trim it down when I go over. I just kindly, like this, if you can see that, it's over there on this side. So I just kind of bring it over like that on both sides. So I'm not wasting it, and it's going where I need it to go. So I'm going to line it up with my score mark down here. And on the right on the seam in the middle, I have the seam right down the middle of my hinge. And then I'm going to use 1/4 inch score tape on each side to give me my little bit of spacing, so my paper does not crack when I go to fold it. Alright. Now I get to take all the tape covers off of these. And I'll tell you, it's another thing. When you use the sheets, it's one swipe. You just swipe it off, and then it all comes off. And it just makes it so much easier, in my opinion. I'm hooked on them. I am spoiled rotten with them. And I'm telling you what, I kind of stressed out today when I realized I did not order them. I don't know what I was thinking. I did order the new Graphic 45 fairy paper, which is, what is it called? I had it right here. Oh, I put it away. The new fairy line. And then I also ordered some fern, what's it called? Oh, darn. the Christmas paper from, hang on a minute, it's going to drive me crazy. I'm going to go look real quick because I moved it over on my chair. Blue Fern. Blue Fern. I don't know why I wasn't coming up with it. Anyways, look at this. I ordered this. And isn't that gorgeous? I can't wait to do an album. And then I've got another project already in mind that I want to do with that. So, and then I also use the fairy dust. That's the other one, the new Graphic 45. So I got the full collection on this one. So a couple more projects coming with that. So it's going to be a fun weekend ahead of me. This week I'm getting ready for my craft show. I haven't done one in quite a few years, and I'm actually doing one this Friday at the local high school, which is a big event here locally. So it's called Ladies Night Out, and it's a bunch of vendors, and I'm the only one that's going to be having mini albums. So wish me luck. I don't know how well I'll do, but we'll see if it's gonna be worth all the time and energy I'm putting into this, because I am busting my rear this week getting things done and made up. Although I do have a big stash. And then again, another area I was able to get into is I have met a lady that does a consignment shop. And so I've actually put some of my albums in her consignment shop. And hopefully we'll see how that does too. So I'm trying to get one of Kimmy Murray's record players done, completed. I got one finished, and I want to get another one done. And I've done a couple of the cameras, so I've got few 3D items going on. I don't remember if you remember Susan Chamberlain's picnic basket and recipe album. I did another one of those. So along with my albums, I'm going to have some 3D items as well. So hopefully it's going to work out. So, all right. So what I'm going to do here now is, because I have too much space on both sides, of course, I don't need all that. So what I do is I bring this up to line this up with my 1 inch, just my chipboard with my 1 inch, and then I swipe it away. Okay, the 1 inch right there. Now, let's go ahead and get these all folded up. Fold those over. And when you score it, it's so much easier to fold it over and get a nice clean fold on these albums. So there you go. All right, so now I'm going to go in my trusty scissors here, and I'm going to go in and I'm going to clip my corners. And I'll tell you what, by making those score marks, this gives you a perfect square. And then I just come up and cut it at an angle on both sides and meet it in the middle for a very nice clean corner cut. Okay. Now I do use my 3/8 tape. I put the 1/4 on the chipboard, and I use the 3/8 tape along the edge of the cardstock. Going over on that one, so I will trim that off. Now, like I said, on the chipboard, I don't usually trim it. I got a bubble on that one. I don't usually trim it on the chipboard, but on my paper I will trim it. Okay. Now, so, I did get my pages done. I made them like I did on during the last video. And I did get them all decorated this weekend. And I wanted to make sure that I can get this album finished in one video, so I don't leave anybody hanging, especially since I'm going to be sharing my original one first, and then I wanted to kind of give you an idea of what you can do, different things that you could do, because I did my pages, if you remember, I did the same cut and fold, but then I just flipped them around and came up with a totally different look to my album. So what I did was I went ahead and added the art glitter glue along the edges of the chipboard. What that does is help loosen up the cardstock here, right next to where you're going to have your paper and your cardstock meet. And then it gives it a much cleaner look. So then I just take this, pull that over, and as much as I hate watching a video where somebody gets up and leaves their seat in the middle of the video, I'm going to apologize. Oh my gosh, I really messed that up. I didn't even take this one off. Look at me talking and I messed it up already. Oh well, I guess we'll have score tape that doesn't mean a thing on that other side. Usually I take this off before I even start. When I get to talking and I'm not paying attention. Okay, well, it still will work. Little boo-boos, but not major ones. Nothing that's going to stop us from going on. Okay, so, and I just run my bone folder gently across that to kind of make it smooth. Pull this other one off too while I'm at it. Now, I know some people do not add the glue until they actually work on that side. I do. I go ahead and put my glue on all at one time. It just helps soften the cardstock a little bit, make it more pliable to move without cracking. Okay, so back to what I was saying before I'm totally getting myself away from everything, just off topic here. Is I just bugs me when I watch a video where somebody doesn't have everything on ready to go, and I'm gonna be just as guilty today as the next person because I forgot to grab 2 extra sheets of my craft cardstock so I could do the inside. So give me a minute and I'll be just a sec. Okay, so note to self, be more prepared before you turn that camera on. Alright, so our chipboard was 6.5 by 6.5. So I am going to cut my cardstock for the inside at 6 5/8. Now, this is not going to cover the whole thing. I know that it won't. So, but this will help take it away. So I'm going to use one piece of cardstock. I like to save my cardstock if I can. So I'm going to cut this piece at 6 5/8. Move that one out of the way so I don't bend it all up. Okay. what I'm doing is I'm trying to see how I'm going to put this on. I can't remember. I should, but I can't. Because what I do is I want my tape running across. So when it comes across here, this part, it actually grabs it and not fights against it. So, and of course, when you're using tape, I'm never straight with it. It just goes on anyway. But I do try to make sure I have the majority of the paper covered. Okay. Move this over here a little bit so I can see what I'm doing. Just one more time. And I already see that I didn't bring that tape all the way to the edge. So I'm going to add a little bit of glitter glue to it. Now I don't use glitter glue a lot on my covers because I want to make sure that they're nice and smooth. And with the score tape, that I find I get the best results using the score tape only. I will add a little bit of glue here and there, but not the majority of it's done. All of it's done in score tape, more or less. So it just gives a much smoother lay on the paper. And I think I have a little bit more control with the paper too when I do that. So, okay. Okay, so let's go ahead and do this one here. Now, something I didn't do on the other one, which I realized I was doing that's one of the reasons why I kept trying to figure out which way it was going. So I always do the longer sides as my longest tape. And then the shorter sides again. And that way, it allows me to know which way I need my tape to go in the middle. That makes sense. Okay. Folder. Make sure these are all on there good and snug. Okay. And I gotta use my scissors to help pry this up because I need to go in and get my nails done and get them cut down because they are definitely way too long. So, just line that up. And then I just pick up the corners. Ah, that one tore on me. Okay. What I'm doing is making sure that that tape grabs those. Makes it a nice clean crease. And there I go. Now, oh, I didn't get this one done. Okay. Add my score tape. I'll do the score tape first this way. For some reason, I feel like this is very awkward for me. And it's not normally, but I don't know if it's because I know you all are watching or what, but I'm just like, okay, why does this feel so awkward? Because I do this all the time. This is just like second nature to me. All right. All right. Now, if you remember, the reason I'm using my 1/4 inch score tape on this is because my hinges were only 3/8. And so I only want the score tape at the top of my hinge. I don't want it down at the bottom to make sure that it doesn't show when I add the pages on. So, and again, all I have is 1/4 and 3/8, so I'm going to use my 3/8. And you know I'm going to go on and order score sheets today because this is just annoying. It's so much easier. The only thing I use score tape for is basically around the edges of my albums, like I just did on this one. So I would prefer, like I said, I prefer the sheets. Okay, this one I do trim. Okay. Well, that just didn't want to come off. Okay. Now, before you put this on, if you want paper here, I would do that first. And so let me see what I did. What did I use? Okay. I don't have it nearby, so I'm not even going to worry about it. I'm going to do this, but I won't do my hinge. So I just want to. So what I do is I need to turn this so I can line it up, and that's going to rest evenly. And I got it crooked. See that? It's alright. Once you put your pages on it, you aren't going to see it. And take a couple of them off. Now, let me show you what I did. I'm not going to keep you on the video as I decorate, as I do the cover decorations and the embellishments, but I did want to show you how I managed to do my pages here. Trying to remember how I did these now. That's how I did it. Okay, so my last page. So here's one of the pages. I'll show you each one. So this one, now if you remember it, I showed you where this was in the front as your pocket, and then your flap was over here. Okay, I flipped mine around, so I went this way where normally it would have been this way for you, and that would have opened that way. So here's what I did. Alright, so this one's going to fold down. You got a large area here for your photo. You can put maybe journaling on here. Then this one opens up. You got a full page for photo, another full page of journaling, and your I did a photo mat also in there for more photos. And then the back, and I still have to make my tags, but here's my tag pocket, and then you can use this as your tag. So that's my last page. So I'm just going to slip it on there. Make sure it's even. And come down and hold it. Okay. Here's my next one. So this one I added an additional flap to it. So I made this flap here. And then I did this one. This is my fold down. I made that as a pocket. And then that closes and that folds down. And then you have a whole area here and here. Both places for photos. And then this folds back over that way. And then you have, again, 2 nice pages for photos. And that one's going to go right here. Make sure that it's catching on there. And there was the back. I'm sorry, I didn't even show you the back. I don't have this on here right. Remember, your hinge is your back page, your pocket, or your front page if you're doing it the other way. I did use the Graphic 45 Safari Adventure. I had some left, and I thought, oh, that would be perfect to use up on this one. So here's my next one. So this one, I did a flap. I added a flap for the top. This is the original, so it would be like that without this. That comes down, and then you've got 3 nice pages for photos, and then this is just there, and this comes up, and each one of these are open underneath, so you put a photo under there. That closes, that comes down, and then that opens again that way. So great spaces, lots of spaces, a real estate for photos and journaling for just a small album. And then there's the back. Sorry, there's my pocket on the back. I keep forgetting. So what I did was, this is the pocket page, and then I put another pocket on top of it. I'm going to have to turn this just a little bit so I can see what I'm doing here. And I want to make sure I'm lining them up. My page is up. Okay. And then my next one, this is, I didn't add any extra flaps on this one. The only thing I did was I just added a little area down here and made it like a little mini pocket to hold a card. So this is going to fold down. And then I've got that area for photos. Then it folds over that way. And I did a pocket, a photo mat, and then 2 little tags on that one. And then the back, I just did made a little pocket on front of the pocket page. And again, I'll be adding my tag on there. So, okay. Let's go ahead and these are all just, it wasn't a complete collection, it was just leftovers. I had made 2 other albums with what I had purchased, and this is what was left, and I knew there'd be enough to do another mini 6x6 album. I think I've done one 6x6 and one, I believe it was 8x8 album, and then I've got this one, so I actually, not bad. Getting 3 albums out of one collection. Okay, and then this one is again the normal. Once I've twisted it and turned it, so you've got your fold down, and then I added a side pocket and with this little side opening for a tag, and then it folds down. Isn't this paper gorgeous? I just love this paper. One of the reasons why I bought both the 8x8 and the 12x12, and then all the ephemera pieces. I didn't buy, I guess I didn't buy the chipboard. Alright, yeah, I did buy the chipboard. I just didn't have very much of that left. And then it folds open like that one. So, and I need to add a bead on that one. I added a bead on all of it, and so I have to do that. And then this, and then there's the back part. So I made a little belly band type pocket and added 2 tags, and then my bigger tag will go in there. So we'll add that on. Okay. So there you go. Now there's my, I keep hitting that. I'm not hitting my cord today. There's my little 6x6 album. And although I have lots of pages in there and I do have embellishments. I just don't have very thick 3D looking embellishments. I kept everything more or less flat. And just by adding this here made it a little bit different. So it's a nice chunky, oops, I'm losing my tag on the back. Alright, a nice chunky little album there. And I think with this one I'm going to add a band on this one to hold it shut. Just because it's so chunky, but I like it. But I'm going to leave the band enough to explode so when they add photos. I don't want it real tight. So I want to set it like that. So that is an album that you can make a different style using the same paper cut. One 12x12. You score it at a 1/2 inch, 6 1/4. Rotate it 90 degrees. Score it at 6. And then you, on the 1/2 inch side, you want to nip it at the corner in the middle at the 6 inch score, and then cut the bottom half off. Okay, and then when you score it, or you want to turn it 90 degrees and cut it from one end to the middle, and then you'll be able to flip it around and have interactive pages. And like I said, showed you here, you can add more flips to it to give you more pages and more room for photos. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I would love to see your projects after you complete it. And again, a shout out to the original creator of this design. And then I added my own little twist to it. So this one becomes mine, although I originally was inspired by hers. So again, thanks for watching, and I will definitely share when my finished album once I get it completed, the cover completed. All right, see you later. Bye-bye.